Alright, well, I had an interesting range day. I went and packed up early. One of the things that happened was that my 6.5 Grendel, which I had went ahead and thrown a new scope on, was having some problems. The eye relief was just going to end up being too far back, and I decided instead of shooting up some ammo, I'm going to go down and I'm going to go put a new mount on it and make sure that I get the proper eye relief even before I spend any time trying to zero that in. I went ahead and I Loctited everything as good as I could, so I'm just going to have to undo all of that. So I'm not going to take any time today to go mess with that. But one of the things I do want to go over today is what should you put in your range bag? I just had a range day, and so my range bag is all full of stuff. So I think that from, I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred visits to the range, I want you to know a couple of useful things that everyone who goes to a range on a somewhat regular basis ought to consider putting in a range bag. Me? I've got this. This is a JanSport backpack. Okay, so this is something I got at Goodwill for $5. Okay, but one of the things that's really important is that this is my range and hunting bag, so it's always dirty and it's always full of crap, but I'm always able to just throw stuff in it. So it's usually full of guns and ammo and things, but let's go with what's in my front pocket here. Right here, my own stapler and package of staples. This was $8 at Walmart. This was $2. This will save your life. A lot of times range staplers are empty or they're broken or something. I hate it. So I've just bought my own and got some staples to go with it. This is one of those things that I have found extremely useful, and I've quit using their damn staples all the time. A cheap caliper. This is a Harbor Freight $2 one, right? But what it does is it's got millimeters and inches. And so if you use any apps that help you to determine how big your groups are or anything, you can always help yourself find an inch by lining up the 0 with the 1, and then you can find, oh, there's an inch right there. Okay, so, or do whatever. If you want to find your centers, and you can try to calculate it through there. A lot of times this is just used for photography. So I like to make sure that I have set up something that is set to scale nearby. So that's a cheapie. In fact, I think I probably got this one from a biology kit when I was still in college. You know, that's part of a lab kit, and I've hung on to it. But your little mini calipers are great. This, masking tape. Masking tape. This is so useful. You can use it to fix targets. You can use it to hang targets. You can use it to make a target. Make a couple of X's. You can use it to put over old bullet holes and keep shooting on the same target. Whatever it is. I have just found so much use in some good old masking tape taken to the range. That being said, what needs to go with your masking tape? A Sharpie. Now, I really like the Sharpies that have these little pens on the end so that you can write easier. But I like being able to just jot a note. Let's just say 2750 feet per second, right? And then you put 5/8 inch group. You just go, you peel that off and you stick it on your target, right? Or whatever you need to do. I love having this here. It helps me label everything. I love labeling stuff. So I keep these in my range bag. Sharpie. Keep it in your range bag, okay? These are just things that are useful. I like to pick up brass, so I always keep a chamber in my backpack just for when I find good brass to pick up, I can throw into that. Okay, so now we're going to unload the front chamber. This is my rear bag. You cannot live without one of these. I like this one that's triangle shaped. This one is about $12 or $13. Rubber on the bottom is made by Range Max. You can hang it off stuff if you want to. You can kind of do whatever, but I find this tool to be incredibly useful. You can set a gun up here. You could set a gun up here. You could use a 4-end buttstock, whatever you need to do, but this thing is incredibly useful. These are the $35 sound canceling earphones with the gel inserts. I actually got these as a gift, but I have several other pairs. I have a teal pair that belongs to my fiance that she uses whenever she wants to go to the range, which happens to be very little. you know, you can just roll this sucker here, turn it all the way up, and then turn it off. It just uses regular batteries. These allow you to speak at a regular voice volume, and but it also drowns out the really loud noises. Okay. So then the next thing, oh, I bumped everything. Targets, 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 targets. Every time I go to the range, I get one free target. It's because I have a membership. One of the things, though, is that I sometimes, if I have extra targets, I'll grab one of the ones that I won't necessarily need until another time. This is a little man target, so I've got that one folded. These are the ones I usually use, you know, a package of 10 for $2. These are 1-inch side-in targets, and they're pretty much my go-to target for everything. I also had another one of these that is just a great handgun target, as well as having a silhouette. So silhouette man targets are really good for your handgun shooting, tactical practice and stuff. I use these for actual target shooting, and they're easy to draw on. Like if I were to grab my my Sharpie that I just had, I could, you know, I can, let's say I get ... I'll show you an example here with my Sharpie. Let's just say that I have a shot here, and a shot right here. Okay, so let's just say that that's what a little group would be. You know, it's less than a, you know, it's about a 3/4 inch group. So with whatever I was shooting there, I could make a line, and then I will go ahead and circle it, and I'll write 223. Let's just say 0.78 MOA, 3111 feet per second, and I could even write, you know, a couple other notes. You know, let's just say pressure signs. And, you know, sometimes what that does is it allows me to just come back and you know, kind of analyze what happens. But when I'm out there, I like to make notes, and that's what I use the Sharpie for. Now, let's just say you're doing some sight in, and you have a round here, you have a round over here, I have one here, and then I have one all the way down here. So we were trying to find our target when we were sighting in. Whenever I'm done with those, and let's just say that this was the group that I was trying to get, let's just say that I had one right here, but it wasn't part of this 3-shot group. So I always make sure that whenever I am done, I go like this, to know that these rounds are not part of this group. Let's just say that I was doing all of this, you know, so I shot my first shot here, made some wild, you know, changes. Oh, okay, well here, then I went to this one, and then I went down. Oh no, you know where I'm at? I'm gonna go over and up, and then I found that I was on my target, then I wanted to shoot a 3-shot group. So you can go ahead and do all that right there, and still shoot at the same target as long as you know where your shots are gonna go. And then you just go ahead and crisscross them off, and then you can pick another point. One of the things I also like to do that allows me to keep shooting at the same target is if you go ahead and do those, you can go ahead and shoot at the points. I believe in the philosophy of aim small, miss small. So I love shooting at the corners of these little things here. And if you are on 0 and you're not, you know, you're going to be an inch high or whatever, if you're on 0 at 100 yards, it'll actually be really, really good to see if you can do groups here. Because a lot of times you can get one, you know, that'll look like this. You know, and you'll have, let's just say that you got just a knockout group. And, you know, oh, okay, well, I'll go ahead and circle that. And then I make a mark, you know, center to center or edge to edge. I mean, that was not a very great one, but then you can write 3/8. Yeah, you know, like, that was my greatest group or something like that. And so, but that way, and then I always take a picture of it. So you can use your Ballistic X app, which helps you, you know, calculate the size of your groups and all that stuff. And then you go ahead and use your caliper that I just showed to make your 1-inch mark, or just hold it up nearby to make sure that you can see, and this is where things go. I always go to the range, and I find lots of these in the trash. I love these because what I will do is I will peel these off and stick them on a target somewhere. Right there, just like that. Now what I can do is shoot at that, and it will have the splatter material inside. So these are just great for that. And you know, like I said, there's orange ones, and these are free. You know, so you are able to keep shooting at the same target most of the day if you know how to shoot at it. and if you know how to mark your targets. So these are things that just go in your range bag. The next thing I always keep is a notebook. I'm going to show you exactly what I've been working on. Let's see here. Here are my notes from today. Here's stuff loaded up, some more Grendel. Going to see if I can get some hot 270 win. And then here are all my notes. Here are the several setups that I made. Here are my chronograph readings for each of those. There's my dud, and then I try to make a little note on there. Very first dud round. And then I'll make, some specific stuff. And then what I will do is journal my findings later. And so, and then of course, at the very front of the book, I always have a series of like, here are some findings. This is some stuff that you know now. That's some calculations and some specific stuff that you're going to hang on to. So I always keep that. I always keep a good pen. I love these precise V5s. Ooh, that's a good pen. Next thing you got to do, of course, is bring your ammunition. Right? So today, there's a little trash. Today I worked on some 308. I worked on some 6.5 Grendel. Worked on some other stuff here, but I like to do with these. You could bring back here and come inspect my brass, make sure that everything looks good. But I always like using these because they're easier to label. I don't like, Now these do cost a few dollars. I'm going to show you something that I've learned to do over time. Whenever I am, kind of done hand loading and I just want to set some for storage, whenever I buy an ammo box, I go ahead and pull these out. These will store most types of ammo that you can find. They're not all the same. They're not all perfect, but let's just say I know what it is. Use a little masking tape like I use on everything. And easy enough to just store some ammunition. You put it on your shelf and you don't have to use these expensive boxes. The boxes aren't terribly expensive, but it's just one of those things where I prefer after time to not have to keep buying them, because I do have about 10, but they're all full of stuff. Here's some 270 hunting stuff. I went ahead and wrote the basic data. Here's how many grains are in it, here's about how fast it goes, and what bullet weight you're looking at. So that way, if I were to give these to somebody, at least they could potentially shoot them knowing what's in it, knowing that they're safe. A lot of times people say never ever shoot someone else's hand loads. That's generally good advice, but what I will say is if you know what it is, if you know exactly what the ammo is that you're supposed to be looking at, how much powder it is in it, and what powder it is, it's not such a big deal as long as you know that everything is good. Here's my dud round from today. This was supposed to be 61. I even wrote dud. Look at that primer. I tried twice on this sucker, 2 whole times. So normally I let it sit for a couple minutes if it's gonna cook. This one didn't do anything, so I might try pulling it apart to see if there's anything going on. But after a couple of attempts, that one didn't go. So I might just keep that as a reminder on my bench here of some stuff. Here's our brass from today. Now, one of the things I'd like to see is, let's see here, this is 59.3. Everything looks really good. No problems or anything, right? As things got up, the extractions, though, started to dent up the case necks a little bit, which I find interesting. You start to see a tiny bit of primer cratering, but everything else looks pretty good. As we got to 62, we started to see the tiniest little bit of primer flattening and cratering, but you know what? Things didn't look that bad, so I don't feel, the recoil at 62 grains was high, and the groups weren't great, as you've already probably seen, but, and here's my 308s. So, I always, if I need to process these as brass, I'll go ahead and get that process started. That's a good pen I don't want anyone to walk away with. Let me go ahead and pack my markers back up. And then in here, I always keep just some kind of rag. You'll always need a rag. I swear you always will end up needing a rag. Of course, then at some point, you're going to have just range pickup brass. I used my beer pong skills, and I kind of just started throwing these into my bag from as far away as I could while I was waiting for barrel cool downs. I always pick up Winchester 270 brass and Lake City 223 brass. I always keep a couple of these rubber gloves because you never know especially in the hunting world, rubber gloves are going to be really good. Now in this back pocket right here, that's where I keep my chronograph. Inside here is a Caldwell Sheepy $130 chronograph kit with the bag, the stand, and the chronograph. It's not the best thing, but it really helps me get stuff set in. I also put the tripod for this here camera in my side pocket. I keep, this is a glass, I think it's by Vortex or Athlon, a optics cleaner, because you'll use it. I keep a flashlight, but this is really more for hunting purposes. This little Streamlight Stylus Pro, great little flashlight. I will keep buying these. They make good gifts too. And then of course I keep a spare battery for phones and stuff. So that is my range setup. So since I have all of these pulled out, I'm going to go ahead and leave them out. But then we're going to go ahead and pack everything back up where it's supposed to go on the inside for the next range trip. I might leave my journal out to make some notes here about what we're going to do, but you always go back here. You always go back. Those headphones, get them nice and zipped up. Just leave that there by the bench. Okay, so that's what we worked on today, and you know, we got some stuff to go over. But appreciate everybody sticking around and going through my range bag and stuff with me. Maybe if there was anything you'd like to learn or any questions you have, I'd love to share any wisdom I may have gleaned after enough years of doing this. But this is one of my hobbies, and this is just a thing that I do for true fun. And I like just making sure that I'm able to you know, document and have some fun with shooting, and I feel like I'm enjoying myself. So if you have any questions about anything, like I said, feel free to give me a message or a link or comment or whatever. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.